I'm really bad at names, but I'm really going to try to remember them. Especially if you add me on LinkedIn or Facebook or something like that, and you respond to me, and I see a face with your name, I will do my best to remember you. Have I not to the people that I've met before? Okay. Your
Good day,
name is?
ma'am. My name's Charles Beeman. You may call me Chuck.
Chuck.
Well, a lot of things that you said were pretty interesting. Geez, so many comments that I would like to ask you. But anyway, I'm just gonna straight up focus on something that could be important to all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you mentioned something about publishing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have a brother-in-law, and he is a herpetologist, and being the scientists, science, they have this saying, POP, that's publish or perish.
Well. P.O.P.
Yeah.
P.O.P. Oh, I
Publish
like that.
or perish. And, that's because that's basically the way scientists work. That if you don't present your work, nobody will know you.
Yeah.
I wanted to take this and bend it on a little different direction, which is basically social media. Such as areas such as YouTube, Twitter, and all of those. What can you recommend, or what has been your experience in the essence of? I mean, I know that you're a writer, but even writers, how can writers move on to video blogs and all of those things, or what has been your experience of that?
So with social media, don't forget that people want to hire a person. If you're always publishing this article, this, and that, you might get unfollowed. I'm not saying to pimp yourself out, but I am saying remember personality is a huge part of that. If you can establish a story, a thread of personality, then people are more likely to remember you and approach you for a job. Sometimes people hit me up in my DMs just because they think I'm fun, and I am. So about making videos, it'll be tough at first because you might be nervous, but just keep making them. Even if one person watches. And you guys can probably count a million stories about one person in the audience has changed lives. Whoopi Goldberg, Tina Turner. One person in the audience changed their lives. If you get one viewer that successfully and righteously will watch your stuff and make sure that they're clicking and share, that one viewer is someone who will buy your stuff later when you're selling it, or will at least be a follower of you and help spread the word. You don't know who people are talking to. So try it and don't give up. Keep doing stand-up, keep doing videos, whatever it is. You might get booed, you might get laughed at. Just know that, probably laugh at yourself first. Everybody just laugh at yourself first in the mirror, then when someone else does it, you're like, ha ha, I've done this before. So, does that answer your question, Chuck?
Yes, thank you very much.
Good. Keep making videos. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Alex Bazil. I was actually in one of your classes earlier. Ours, comedy pilot.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering, with film festival coming up, I was wondering if what were some interesting or important panels you went to, or people you networked with there?
Ooh, good question. So when I was here, I did not have as many opportunities as you guys because people did not look at dramatic writers like we should be taken seriously. Even if you feel that way right now, consider you're wrong. People hear y'all. People see y'all. People want to be your friends. Have you started noticing that actors are walking up to you and just like talking to you randomly and like not really? Well, why do you think so? You're doing and making moves. So panels that I went to that were fun. I went to a Bob's Burgers panel, and it was so cool to see a writer's room. Go to those writing panels. I know, are there more now?
There are 3 Writers Room Foundation panels, and today I picked up 50 tickets for each.
Yep.
And I actually did going to post a cute picture that Alex took me on Instagram with all the photos. So, yeah. Go.
So the Writers Guild is so awesome, and they have free events in LA and New York as well. Go to those panels because you actually get to talk to writers, to hear what a writer's room feels like, to inspire yourself. Go to screenings. And I said this at lunch earlier. When I would go to screenings, I know it's nerdy, and don't try not to be obvious about it. I timed acts. I wrote down act outs. I studied things when I was in those screenings, so my questions were geared toward, I've noticed that this act 2 in season 12 is such a different turn for this character than you usually set up. Or this got away from the format of, ER was known for having that willing case, and then the lives unfold after that. Well, this one was different. And those kind of things, thinking like that, will only make you a stronger writer. Because when you talk to someone in a networking environment from the industry, and they ask, what are you watching? And you can say, I really love Dear White People because I love the magical realism and how it doesn't really pick up until midway through season 2, but once it does, it's incessant. That makes me sound like I know what I'm talking about. Because you do. Go to all the writing panels, go to the acting panels, go to everybody's panel you can, because a writer that knows every role, not saying you can do it, but a writer that knows of it at least, is a strong writer. So you can write a script that you know can actually be produced. With that being said, no explosions until at least the one person's paid for a script. They're hard to do and expensive. People put that script down. Unless, if it's really, really good, then go for it. What do I know?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Hadley, and I'm just a basic writing major with a copywriting and a minor in advertising.
Poetry is how I started. If it were not for poetry, I would not be a playwright today. The most common note I get is that no matter what I write, my writing has a way of being poetic and lyrical without being abstract. It's very concrete, but you can feel the movement, it's tranquil and those things. So don't just say you're an ordinary writer.
Well, I meant in regards to the dramatic, and you're talking about scripts and whatnot, but with the advertising and copywriting, I think the comedy would help.
Yes.
So what do you suggest in terms of I've never done stand-up, and how do you approach that?
Watch it. Netflix is so cool right now. Hassan Minaj's solo show was, to me, one of the best examples of stand-up that I've seen when it came out. Watch these shows. Write it down. Watch Baby Cobra. I won't start naming other people because I have a habit of saying folks I don't like to. So I won't do that. Because I don't want this to come and hunt me later. But, which is another thing, don't burn bridges. Watch comedy, and you'll start to feel it. Comedy is all about rhythm. The reason why I'm so great at joke writing is because I get rhythm. And I can feel when it's one word too many, or not enough words, or too many syllables in this one word. So you've got to watch it so you can feel that rhythm, because once you get it in your body, you can know punchline. You can read a script and go, joke needs to be right here. And you'll be right.
Thank you.
And don't feel bad if you have to watch for a long time before you feel confident to do it, because you're preparing yourself. Just like you would outline something, that's your outline for comedy. Yes. Hi.
I'm wondering what you suggest. I'm not planning on moving out to LA as soon as I graduate, because I don't really have the capability of doing the coach stuff. I used to do it a lot, and it just slowed me down so much health-wise.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out should I use the first 100 days to just work on my writing and try to make connections and then go out to LA when I make those connections? Is it easier to do, or not easier? Is it okay to do it that way?
Yeah, because you don't have to live in LA to go take a visit. Save up for a plane ticket, plan them. That's key. Plan. Okay, I can't move to LA right now. I just can't do it. I need at least 2 years. In those 2 years, how many times are you going to visit Los Angeles? And when you do, trick of the trade. Make plans almost as soon as you get off that flight. Email people before you get there and say, hey, I'm moving to LA on the 23rd. Is there any way that you might have this available on your schedule for the 24th or 25th? I'd love to grab some coffee with you. Make those kind of moves so every day that you're there, you don't waste your time. I know it's expensive. I live there. Make sure that you're making proper plans and doing that. I call this pre-writing, which is my favorite part of writing. All the planning, all the outlining, and all of that. Make sure you're doing that work. Just because you can't move today doesn't mean you won't move or you won't be successful. Just know you need to do even more work remotely, but it's so possible. And what is your name?
Oh, sorry, I'm Angela Divivia.
Angela.
So I'm not a comedy. I'm sorry, I'm Tess.
Yes.
Thank you. My name is Tess, and I am not a comedy writer. Like I have a sense of humor, but I'm not funny. And so.
That is not true.
Well, thank
Well,
you.
I said the same thing until this man refused to read another script until it was comedic.
I have not had that moment, so
Well, you have.
that's okay.
You are funny. Right. You made us laugh twice so far.
At my own expense, I'm used to that. That's
3
all right.
times. Right.
But my question in general, for those of us that may not be comfortable, not just not comfortable, but just not comedy writers, just not.
That's okay.
I'm okay with that. Stand-up may not be something that would help.
Yeah.
Is there an alternative?
Let me rephrase that. Stand-up was my stand-up. Find your stand-up. It might not be, telling jokes in front of a crowd. It might be making vlogs.
Okay.
It might be, doing interviews. Toph is so good at interviewing people. I tell him all the time, I don't know how, because I hate interviews because, again, I'm shy. And so when the questions are on me, this is something I've had to work at, being good at answering questions. He's able to pull that from people when he interviews them. He's able to make them relax and to really get the juice by making people comfortable. Find your stand-up. Doesn't have to be telling jokes. It could be, covering entertainment. It could be being a journalist. Trying something different. That the key is make it writing-based, make it a little fearful, make it challenging, and make it fun.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Ted Cadena.
Say it again.
Ted Cadena.
Ted.
I was wondering for building a portfolio and getting your work out there and all that. I was wondering if it's better to focus on versatility of having a lot of different formats under your belt with screenplays and stage plays or TV, or is it better to have a very specific format so I really work towards and have it be good at?
I think you have to decide here before you go out into the world. How do I want to be seen as a writer? What's the voice? What's the message? The theme that I want to communicate? Obviously, if you read anything that I've written, I love being black. Just do. I really, really do. It's so cool. And so I knew that was a huge component of my work. The protagonist does not always have to be black, but I love to showcase blackness in unique and different ways every time I do it. Writing a black physics professor? How many have you seen? I know some in real life though, so that's why I wrote it. So I would say the answer to that is, do you want to be known as a jack of all trades? Is that your thing? Do you want to be known as the joke girl? Do you want to be known as the excellent short screenplay writer? So decide what that is that you want to do. I'd say have a little diversity to showcase. I've been trained. That's another thing. You all are classically trained. You know how people at Juilliard say that all the time? So I looked it up to see what were the criteria for it. So it means you have to have professors who are classically trained and have been tried and challenged in this subject. So, that's literally all that means. That those people taught you. So you are classically trained. Make sure that you showcase that. If you can write screenplays but don't love it, kind of like me, just have a good one. Or a short, anything. If you love pilots but love plays, have both. It doesn't even have to be a full-length play. Have a 10-minute or a one-act, or what do you want to do on the stage? Make sure that voice comes through. So it's not all about having bunches of pilots, bunches of screenplays, bunches of plays. It is about making sure that every single thing that people read from you has that voice of yours, even if it's from younger to older, that you've been able to show that you will be this type of writer, and these are the things you're interested in. So people won't even approach you with the nonsense of pitching ideas to you that they know that you won't do or you won't be interested in. I don't think anyone has approached me about anything that does not involve at least one black character because they know better.
We have time for one more question.
I'm Erin, I'm a senior here. You talk a lot about the necessity of persistence and how you keep going. My question is, what do you do when you're burnt out?
It happens.
Yeah, that's the end of it.
The same thing that Topher probably told you guys, have a tribe. When I'm burnt out, I call him, and that's the thing, our relationship is not just about writing. Sometimes I'll call Topher and say, I know you don't want to say it, but I know you're not well right now. So what's going on, how can I help you? I know that sometimes some seasons I'm off. For instance, I don't know what it is, and my birthday's in February, but winter just hits me hard. It's so hard, I get in a mood, in a funk. My dog's like, I don't have time. I'm going on somewhere. Which is why I try to live in mostly sunny places. It's just something about the cold and the dark and the dreary that really gets me. Because of that, I've built a tribe that knows me so well. Around my birthday, Topher is so annoying, but I love it. He's just like, hi, how's my favorite girl? You know, all of those things. So when you're burnt out, this is why you have to network across and help other people, because then you can rely on them to help you. That's the thing. You don't necessarily want to network that way with the intent in mind, you'll help me do something, but they don't mind helping you if they know. Oh, yeah, you agree? I was thinking about the two of y'all. Yeah. But yeah, they don't mind helping you if they know that you've got their back too. I would literally fight someone on site for Topher, and he would do the same for me. Find your tribe. You probably already found him. Yeah, I found him when he was at SCAD and wasted months being shy.
Erica, thank you so much.